Hey everyone, welcome back to CBSE Learners. Let's see the poem The Ant and the Cricket from our Class 8 syllabus, which is adapted from Aesop Fables. So, before we start the poem, let's see what is actually a fable is. So, here they have given a definition of a fable. So, a fable is a story, often with animals as characters, that conveys a moral. So, when you read a fable is nothing but a story with animals or birds as characters, and it gives you a moral. Okay, it will teach you a lesson. Okay, this poem about an ant and a cricket contains an idea of far reaching significance, which is as true of a four-legged cricket as of a two-legged one. Surely you have seen a cricket that has two legs. So this poem will give you a far reaching significance. It will give you a strong moral. And this is not only valid for four-legged cricket but also for the two-legged ones. Now here whom they have considered as two-legged one, human beings. Okay, so this story's moral is not only valid for the animals but also for the human beings also. Okay, so now what is actually Aesop fables is. So before going into the lesson, I would like to discuss something about Aesop fables. Okay, so Aesop fables or the Aesopica is a collection of fables credited to Aesop. Now, who was Aesop? Aesop, a slave and a storyteller believed to have lived in ancient Greece between 620 and 564 BC. Okay, so this is a small introduction about Aesop fables. And when we were children and when you were kids, that time you have heard a lot of stories which are actually extracted or adapted from Aesop fables. Like I would like to give some example, like the crow and the pitcher, the greedy dog, the golden goose, and these all will give you some morals. Now what are these morals, will how it will help us? This moral will help us from doing any mistake, or it will teach you one important lesson in your life to how to lead your life. Now let's see the poem. A silly young cricket, accustomed to sing through the warm sunny months of gay summer and spring. Now, a silly young cricket. Now, here the poet has said that the cricket was a silly cricket who used to sing. Accustomed to sing means habituated to sing through the warm sunny months of gay summer and spring. So, during summer season and these crickets, they were habituated to sing and enjoy the warmth and happiness of summer and spring. Now here sunny months of gay summer. Gay means happy. Okay, happy summer and spring. Began to complain when he found that at home his cupboard was empty and winter was come. So that cricket started to complain, began to complain when he found that at home, when he saw that there was nothing to eat and there was nothing which he can feed himself inside the cupboard, and the winter has already arrived, it has already come. Not a crumb to be found on the snow-covered ground. Not a flower could he see, not a leaf on a tree. So he cannot find, because the winter has arrived and it was so cold and the ground was covered with snow. So he cannot find a crumb or a piece of a bread. Crumb, crumb is actually a pieces of bread. Okay, so he cannot find a crumb, even a crumb also, and not a flower also, not a leaf also. There was nothing, because everything was covered with snow. Oh, what will become, says the cricket, of me? Now the cricket was worried that what will happen to him. Okay, at last by starvation and famine made bold, all dripping with wet and all trembling with cold. At last he was starved. He was very hungry. He was not having food. Famine is a condition when people won't get food for long days. Okay, it will be for a long duration of time. And he was wet because of cold. See, if you are not getting proper food, then you are going to feel weak, and you, since it was winter, he was feeling more weak. Okay, because it was cold outside, and inside there was nothing to feed him. Okay, there was not a crumb of food or a bread also. Away he set off to a miserly ant to see if to keep him alive he would grant. So after facing lot of problems because of lack of food, he went to a miserly ant. Okay, we can say miserly or miserly ant. Okay, to see whether the ant will help him or not, him shelter from rain and a mouthful of grain. So, what he was expecting from the ant, he was expecting some shelter so that he can stay and he can protect himself from rain, and a mouthful of grain and a little bit of food. Grain means food. Okay, he wished only to borrow, he would repay it tomorrow. He wished only to borrow. He was not asking or taking it for granted. He was asking that he wants to borrow, and he is going to repay that tomorrow, okay, or next day. If not, he must die of starvation and sorrow. If the ant is not going to help, he is going to die because of lack of food and sadness. Sorrow means sadness. Says the ant to the cricket, I am your servant and friend. Now, the ant says to the cricket, and the ant replies to the cricket that I am your servant and friend. I am your slave. Servant means slave, and your friend also. But we ants never borrow, we ants never lend. So he said that we are ants. We don't borrow anything from anyone, and we don't give anything to anyone to borrow, or they don't lend, okay, anything to anyone. But tell me, dear cricket, did you lay nothing by? Now he is asking the ant is asking the cricket that didn't you save anything to eat during winter? When the weather was warm, quoth the cricket, not. So he said that when it was summer, when it was you are having suitable climate and weather, that time you didn't save anything. The cricket said, not I. My heart was so light that I sang day and night. He said that my heart was so happy and light, and so that he sang throughout the day, throughout the night. He enjoyed and enjoyed. For all nature looked gay, because everything was so happy, and the nature was filled with pleasure, and the environment was happy and gay, and everything was merryful. Okay, you sang, sir, you say. Go then, says the ant, and dance the winter away. So he said, you sang? He was asking the ant whether he has sang or not. The ant replies that, okay, then you go right now also, and you dance, and now you dance and drive the winter. You pass the whole winter season by dancing. Okay. Thus ending, he hastily lifted the wicket, and out of the door turned the poor little cricket. Okay, so at the end, they replied that they are not going to lend him any food or any shelter. They advised him to dance and drive the winter away. Okay, and the poor cricket was outside the door without any help. Folks called this a fable. I warrant it true. So the poet here, he's saying that folks means peoples call this a story, but I considered it to be true. Some crickets have four legs and some have two. Okay, so now here in you can see the cricket is having the cricket insect is having four legs, right? But he's giving an inner meaning that even two legs cricket. Now who the poet is saying that two legs cricket? Actually the poet is saying to the human beings. Okay, so here Now, the poet has given a very important and significant moral of the poem, which is if we don't do hard work today, we can't be happy tomorrow. If you don't save anything for future, you are just not going to enjoy your future. Okay, so to get happiness tomorrow, you should do hard work. To get good result, you should do hard work today. You should study hard so that you can score good marks, right? So actually the moral of the poem is if you don't do hard work today, you can't be happy tomorrow. Okay, so in case of, whether it can be in case of four leg cricket or in case of two leg cricket, like we human beings. Okay, here the poet has given this inner meaning in case of we human beings, that if we don't do hard work, even you students, if you don't do proper study or if you don't study hard, you are not going to fulfill your ambition, right? So for getting good marks, for studying in future, to pursue your ambition, you should study hard, right? So I hope this explanation of this poem is very clear to you, right? So next, here you can see some glossary is, this is all word meanings like accustomed to, already I have said, used to or habituated to. Famine, scarcity of food, having nothing to eat. Lay nothing by, save nothing by. Quoth, it's old English. See, English, we can say some archaic English or old English, and there is new English. So nowadays we say said. Okay, in olden days we used to say quoth. Okay, so glossary and meanings, everything is very clear to you. I hope you like this lesson. So next video I'm just going to upload this working with the poem segment of this chapter. Okay, so please always keep in mind the moral of this poem. Okay, it will help you in a successful future. Thanks a lot. Take care, study hard, stay safe, stay home, and bye bye.